Man, this Ticket TV, man, he been killing it lately with these videos. Talking about Zion, been doing a hell of a job. I agree with most of his points. Shout out to LDBC, man. Shout out to all the brothers, man, that been supporting the movement, supporting our brother Ticket TV or what he got going on. Man, shout out to all y'all. Just want to touch on Zion Williamson and touch on basically the state of the young players in the NBA for us letting off the court issues affect the overall performance on the court. Zion Williamson, unfortunately, came in as a great talent, had been a highly regarded player for many years, and they thought he was going to be a transition, be a star in his league, and be one of the most dominant players in the NBA right now. But unfortunately, injuries had held him up, and unfortunately, he has been able to. We've been teased by him because when he had played, he shows a lot of dominance and shows a lot of promise. So we've been teased of off his performance, and we always believe if he's healthy, the New Orleans Pelicans would be a serious team to be dealt with in the NBA, and possibly they could be a contender in the Western Conference if Zion is there and Zion is healthy every year. But unfortunately, he hasn't been. And we always wonder why Zion always hurt, always coming out of shape, and those things of that nature. But come to find out, he having issues with these women. And unfortunately with Zion, he didn't have the guidance of how to move when you do move that way. When you are moving that way and when you do deal with these IG models and deal with various different women, you have to protect yourself as an athlete. And if you got the right representation, your agent or your lawyers will tell you you need to get NDAs. Zion Williamson is an example of why professional athletes or any guy that playing professional sports, period, should get NDAs. The NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, that's what it means, will put you in a position that if all fails, if your relationship falters or you guys have a bad falling out or whatever, that specific woman or that specific person that's in your circle wouldn't be able to take you to court and sue you for any type of emotional damages or things of that nature, and they wouldn't be able to speak publicly about you. And unfortunately, Zion Williamson didn't do that, so that's why you got a lot of certain things coming out about Zion Williamson. You got these different women coming out the woodworks with different claims and exposing proofs or exposing receipts of how Zion Williamson been moving with them and how he been providing for them, how he been doing this and that and the other. So now Zion Williamson gonna be in position. Now you got to pay out all these particular women when they take you to court. And you got to be liable of how you take care of them because they relied on you for however long you've been taking care of them. So now, even you not dealing with them anymore, you still got to be financially responsible for these women. And now you possibly may have a couple of children on the way. That's even gonna be more damaging and more taxing on your financial stability. So now not only you in danger of having to come out of more money, now you have to make sure that you commit to the game of basketball in which you haven't been committed to, just so you could provide and just so you could keep providing the lifestyle that you created and try to fix your problems with the women that you had dealt with. So unfortunately, Zion Williamson put himself in a bad spot. Um, end of the day, it's always temptation out there. And when you an athlete out there, and when you come from a small town like he's from South Carolina. And in South Carolina, state of South Carolina, I feel bad for them because now the two predominant athletes from that area, from that state, they are in controversy. You got John Morant in one hand in street situations, and now you got Williamson having women problems, in which those two things ultimately always be the demise of most athletes' careers ending. So I just was thinking about how these off the court issues affect these stars. We've seen it in recent years. We've seen it before how off the court issues affect a certain players. Like for instance, um, Latrell Sprewell, a great example. I mean, even though it happened with the team, but his attitude and his actions led to him missing crucial years of his career, and hindered his career to a point that his behavior affected him getting bigger contracts, affected him for having an extended career. Him missing all NBAs and more All-Star appearances that he could have had. Um, Another guy, for instance, that we could come up with. I'm trying to think off top, but it really not registering with me right now. But it's just sad to go out that way, and it's sad that Zion didn't come out and tell the truth and make sure that hey, this is what I did. I messed up. How can we fix this? How can we publicly fix this? Is there any way that we could buy out these women to get these women not to come out and to expose certain things that I did? And I think if you would have came out of that way, I think all this stuff wouldn't be public. I think you could have had under the table writings like, hey, get you to sign this. This is the payout that Zion is going to give you. And Zion should have took a chance. Look at Deshaun Watson. I know we don't talk about football. Deshaun Watson basically did that in his case. Got a lot, paid out a lot of women, and got them to sign agreements, disclosure agreements to the point where they can't come out and talk about this anymore. They can't come out and talk about his whatever they say it happened that night. They can't come out and talk about it no more. So Deshaun Watson team protected him to the point where that now he's back playing football again, and he's able to move on. Yes, it touched his pockets, but now none of those women can really talk about anything that went on at those times at the massage parlors or when he had them to give private massages. Same thing with Zion. He should have went on ahead. His team should have went on ahead and be like, hey, what can we do? What type of agreement that we could come up with to get you guys to be quiet, to get you guys to go ahead and be quiet and not come out and expose anything that you and Zion had going on. And I think he would have took it that route. I think he could have avoided anything that's happening to him right now. And that just him being misled and him being misguided. Um, I know Ticket just dropped the link. Hopefully certain guys will jump on so we could talk about it. I fit to text a few guys 'cause I know my boy wanted to touch on it too, Mr. Mad. So let me see what my boy got going on so he could come on. Um, but most definitely, man, Zion, I agree with Ticket when Ticket bring up that his career is on the line, man, and he got to do some deep soul searching. And right now, with all the controversy in, the only way Zion could get people to throw this under the rug, to get people to shut up, you got to come in shape in this training camp. You got to come in focus on basketball only, and you got to not worry about any women at all. You just need to come in, focus on basketball, get New Orleans to be one of the most dominant teams in the NBA, to make them a contender, and you can get people to shut up about your mistakes dealing with these women. So the question is, can Zion actually commit to the game? And can Zion actually make New Orleans Pelicans a contender in the NBA this upcoming season? And I think that's what Zion needs to do. He has to focus on basketball to get people off his back because unfortunately, he's in a situation that people are looking at him sideways and looking at him like, this is the reason why you always be out of shape. This is the reason why that we barely see you on the court because look at what you got going. You messing with all these different women. You more focused. You paying women $100,000 a week and all this type of different stuff. You're not focusing on getting yourself on the court. So Zion has to do some deep soul searching and had to go back to a game that if he loves it, he has to commit to it. If he doesn't, Zion will be out the league. Zion will never get a big contract again, and he would be financially damaged and not be financially stable because all that money that he have gotten, all that money would be gone real soon if he doesn't get his act together. And it just got me thinking about all these what's going on in the league right now, you guys. John Morant John Morant, man, making irrational decisions, running around with cats that he shouldn't be around. With him riding with guys that do carry firearms with them is not a smart look for him. If you are gonna go that way, if you are worried about your well being in the streets, why not have off duty officers? Why not have ex federal agents or ex Marine guys to be your protection? So that way, anything goes down, you covered. If for some reason that someone has to get shot to save your life, now you covered. You're not gonna have a murder case hanging over your head. They're not gonna wonder why you was in this situation because you got professional security protecting you at all times. You a $200 million man. It comes with responsibilities. It comes with you to carry yourself in a different way. So why these athletes, you guys, don't get the proper training and the proper guidance to be professionals? And it's sad that these guys don't get the education that they need. So who we to blame? Should we blame the high school coaches? Should we blame the parents? Should we blame these college coaches? Like for Zion Williamson, should Coach K get some blame for it? Because at the end of the day, that was a student athlete that was under your watch, and you supposed to be teaching them the game. So is it the only reason that you recruited Zion is just for basketball? So you just used him for business purposes? You didn't really care about your kid? You didn't really give him the education that he needs to be a concert professional? So it's a lot of different ways we can let these AAU coaches. Same way. So you guys didn't take the time to try to get these kids education? Understanding that the guys that you got may be professionals one day. So I think we gotta come up with a system. I think the NBA has to come up with a system to the point where that they got it. I know they got certain programs now, but I think they need to have a big brother program to the point that you have former professionals. Like I'm gonna tell you who should be the campaign of it. I think a guy like Antoine Walker should be over a big brother program to the point that he could educate these NBA players on how they should carry this. So Antoine Walker was a guy that carried an entourage and also dealt with a lot of women that had women problems. He spent a lot of money on his entourage and women that he has dealt with in his career, and he ultimately became broke despite of making over 100+ million in his whole career. And Antoine Walker was constantly taking care of his entourage and taking care of any woman that he dealt with. And I think a guy like Antoine Walker can educate guys like a Zion Williamson, can educate a guy like John Morant and how they should carry themselves and how as fast as you got this money, it, it could go just like that. And Antoine Walker is a prime example of that. And I think end of the day, these programs need to be instituted so we can avoid these type of issues because we want to see John Morant and Zion Williamson, the top two picks of that class of 2019 rather, to be on the court. We want to see these great talented guys on the court. It's sad that it's a possibility that the number one and number two pick on the 2019 draft might be out the league very soon, you guys. That stuff does not happen often. And it's all because these guys are not educated of how to be professionals. And I'm pretty sure Ticket, him being a professional athlete and him being coached throughout his career, he been around certain OGs or certain coaches that really taught him how to carry himself as a professional, of how to be a constant professional on and off the court. Because even when you're off the court, you still represent the organization you play for. You still represent your teammates. You still represent the city or the country or whoever you're playing for. You represent them on and off the court. And the fact that John Morant gave this stigma of the whole Memphis Grizzlies because how he moved, everybody think the Memphis Grizzlies are just nothing but immature young puppies that act like thugs and criminals. That's the perception that the Grizzlies got. They even perceive Dylan Brooks to be a tough guy. And he's not even about that. He's not even about that. So it just crazy. It just crazy like how people don't understand that the way that you move can affect just the totality of how everybody views you and your teammates. And the Memphis Grizzlies got a bad stigma right? Because their best player, their franchise player, carried themselves in the wrong fashion. And saucy dip, and you right. No vets in the locker room, man. And then this the messed up part. When Dylan Brooks said that we don't need a guy like Carmelo Anthony in the locker room, that just shows the respect that these young guys have for the OGs. And Carmelo Anthony is the guy that can give some hell of advice. He gives a hell of advice, all the stuff that Carmelo been through, the entourage that he used to have around, the women issues that he has had, somewhat publicly, the scandals that he been a part of. Carmelo can actually give these guys some good knowledge. Shout out to Mr. Facts Over Feelings, Ronnie. Shout out to If You Want. Shout out to Kevin, Shift God. Shout out to Saucy Dip. Man, shout out to all y'all. Shout out to Double Tech. Appreciate all y'all for coming in and looking at this video. Um, I just feel very disappointed, y'all, that these guys are really not educated, man. It's just sad, man. And and really, I don't think it's. I hate to say it. I think it's no hope for these guys, man. I think it's no hope. I think it's no hope for them. I think it's no hope for Zion Williamson. I think it's no hope for John Morant. I think it's too late. I think these guys are far gone. I think these guys are not strong enough mentally to understand that, hey, I messed up. I made a mistake. Let me learn from this and let me bounce back from this and let me focus on strictly basketball. I'm not going to worry about anybody else. I'm not going to worry about what anybody says. I'm going to just show you why I was the number one pick. I'm going to just show you why that I'm the number two pick. I'm going to show you why they say I'm the most dynamic guard. I'm going to show you why they say I'm the next most dominant figure in the game. I don't think they're strong mentally to put anything behind them, any controversy behind them. And that just shows where the support system's at. Why these players don't have the right guidance and the right support systems to guide them to carry themselves the right way. Is it our culture? Or is it the people that so-called care for them are so selfish that all they worrying about is, man, let's get to the league and let's eat off these kids instead of just making sure that they in the best place mentally, making sure that they in certain situations they know how to handle certain situations. Zion Williamson should have been taught from the jump that when you deal with any women, especially when you're young, you get them to sign an NDA. The first day you meet a motherfucker, the first day you about to get to go on a date with a motherfucker, about, hey, I need you to sign this NDA. You can't say anything about me. I need you to sign this NDA so my image can be protected. If you don't respect that, I don't want to have any dealings with you. If you put out to the news that I try to get you to sign an NDA, so be it. At least it shows that I'm not a dumbass. At least it shows that I'm a smart athlete. At least it shows I got some type of sense that I try to get you to sign an NDA. If you want to put that out, so be it. All that gonna do is let it be known that you a gold digger. So I think these players need education. If I'm Adam Silver, if I'm Adam Silver, I'm getting I'm getting the program, and I'm gonna let Antoine Walker be the head man of this program. A guy that made over hundreds of millions of dollars, was a prominent star in the NBA, was a good solid player, but his off the court issues affected him to the point that it hindered his career, it hindered him financially, and it hindered him for constantly being a consistent star in the league due to his off the court issues for him taking care of everybody, taking care of his whole entourage, cats from his hood, him taking care of any woman that he dealt with, he spoiled them to death. Antoine Walker can absolutely school these kids, man, and gets these kids to understand that if you move the way that I move, you won't have a successful career. you won't be financially stable for the rest of your life. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, y'all. It's just crazy what we got going on. John Morant, a guy that you need to reach out to. Reach out to, tell your pops to reach out to Tony Allen, man. Have a real sit down with Tony Allen. A guy that's come for nothing from the West Side. Um, One of the OGs that I know from Chicago from the West Side. They grew up in the same neighborhood. Tony Allen can relate. This is Zach Randolph, another guy that can relate to you, John Morant. He was in some controversy, but he had the right team around him to separate him from certain things that could have got him in trouble. His career almost ended in Portland. People forget about issues that he had in Portland. He had to change his ways. And we gotta highlight this, man. We gotta be very proud of LeBron James, a kid that coming out of high school, in the way that he has carried himself, been an ultimate professional his whole career. He could have easily made a lot of mistakes, but he had the right people around him, the right team around him, and LeBron James was willing to listen, was willing to take everything in and to become a better man and to become a great example of how to be a professional in this NBA. He has a great team around him. They're gonna make sure that he's taken care of. They're gonna make sure that nothing, no harm will ever come his way. Guys like John Morant and Zion doesn't have that. With Zion, I mean, he doesn't hang around street cats, but he doesn't have the right people that understand certain things that come with the life of being a professional to let him know how to move. John Morant, you got a lot of guys that run around you that really don't understand that, hey, certain things when we with our brother John, yeah, we can't bring this certain stuff around them. If we are drinking, if we are kicking it, we at the house though. It just gonna be us. We ain't gonna invite no friends. We just gonna kick it amongst ourselves. If we drinking, we drinking at his house. And we not putting anything on Instagram. We not putting anything on Twitter. We not putting anything on Facebook. We not doing anything on Snapchat. We're not gonna do none of that. Whatever we do behind closed doors, we gonna do behind closed doors. We ain't gotta show the people that we cool with John Morant. We want our brother to be safe. We gonna protect the bag. John, man, hey, I know you want to do this, do that. Nah, we can't do that. John Morant don't have people in this circle that will let him know. Nah, we can't do that, bro. We can't move like that, bro. If we go do it, man, we gotta do it behind closed doors. Strip club, nah, we ain't really gonna do no strip club. Hey, we go ahead and get some local dancers, man. We gonna get them to come through. But before they do perform, they gotta sign NDAs. They gotta sign NDAs before they even do a show in front of us, before they even be around us. Because if we don't, the women could come out and make up anything on us. They could say that we did anything around them. So, you got to think like that. You got to be smart like that, especially when you $100 million, $200 million man in this league. And with Zion and John Morant, if I'm not mistaken, guys, that the value of them is like 200 plus million with the endorsements and all that stuff that those guys have. Yeah, Rick the Bad Boy, it is sad because they both of them do have father figures in their life, but the father figures couldn't teach them certain things because they don't know what comes with that lifestyle all the way. Now, John Morant's father had some resources that he probably could have reached out to help teach John Morant, but when you're not educated and when you don't have the right people in your camp, these things happen, you guys. These situation happens. It's a prime example of that, man. Like I said, like, yes, we all gonna want to do certain things, but when your tax bracket is different, you can't do everything that everybody do. You just can't. So you want to have strippers? Cool. You just gotta have a private event with the strippers And you gotta get those strippers to sign NDAs. Now, if you are going to a certain club, you gotta have a meeting with the owner. Like, look, I'm gonna make an appearance at your club, but I need all your employees. I need you to sign an agreement as well, because I don't want you to try to come out and sue me. I don't want your employees to come out and sue me. So if you go do certain things, you gotta move a certain way. Why do you think you don't hear LeBron James ain't a controversy? Why do you think you don't hear the D Wades and the Jay-Z's and all them a controversy? Because that's how they going to move. That's how they going to do things. People may want to come out with a lot of things to say about them niggas. But guess what? Because they follow certain protocols, motherfuckers will never be able to expose them. And the ones that do, nobody ain't gonna listen to them most of the time. Nobody gonna believe the few people that will try to expose them come out. They not gonna believe it. Cause for the most part, if that's the case, like look at R. Kelly. Imagine if R. Kelly had all those parents sign NDAs. R. Kelly was never educated. So R. Kelly got caught up in certain situations because he wasn't educated. And guess what? When R. Kelly would stop being able to do certain things for certain people, all those people came out and exposed him. And guess what? There was nothing that he could do about it because they didn't sign any NDAs. Even if he was doing sick stuff, if he was educated, he could have had them sign NDAs. Same thing, man. Bill Cosby back in the day, even though he was wrongfully put in prison, to me, back in the day, if he was thinking, you could have had all the women that you probably was partying with sign NDAs. It's just the lack of education that we get as entertainers, as professionals. It's crazy, y'all. But Tika highlighted a lot of great stuff, you guys, and everything that he's saying about Zion and what he's reporting about Zion is right on the money, and I 100% agree with him. I 100% agree with him. And if anybody going against that, you just an asshole. You just an asshole. I'm gonna be honest, you just an asshole if you going against what this man is saying. So shout out to Ticket again, man, because he been cooking on this, bro. And shout out to Slim 21. Shout out to you, my boy. But as professional athletes, as an entertainer, period, you have to be prepared for every scenario that could come your way. If you know you got a woman fetish, bro, if you know that's what you're into, man, you have to be prepared. Zion wasn't prepared, so now I think instantly ASAP, you probably out of 50 to 80 million right now. Just off of all the stuff you got going on. That you probably out of 50 to 80 million right there, Zion. So now what you gonna do? Now the spending that you was doing, you gotta slow down on your spending now. So now when you going out of town, when you trying to splurge on yourself, you gotta live off per diem a little bit. You gotta dumb it down. You ain't gonna be able to go to all them expensive restaurants and spend money. You got to eat off. You got to live off your per diem. Just got a text from my brother. Maz would be in shortly. My brother Maz would be in shortly. He had some thing. He had to make some runs. Man, shout out, man. Who's in here, man?
Yo, man, it's me, Ty.
Man, what's happening, my brother? Man, hey, just make sure that you minimize on the cursor. Cause you see, I love the cursor. I haven't really been cursing like that. Man, but what's your thoughts on Zion Williamson, John Morant? And just basically, what's your thoughts on professional athletes, man? And what type of guidance do they need to avoid situations like the Zions and the John Morants and other famous athletes that we know, like the Deshaun Watsons of the world as well? What do they
Well,
need?
What do they need to stop them from doing what they're doing?
Yes.
Well, for one, it takes accountability because they're grown men, at the end of the day, and they have to look within themselves to like make a realistic change. And I feel like the only way that can possibly do it is financial reasons. If the NBA does, ever think about doing something in the future of, okay, you guys gonna, do these things that make our league bad or something like that. Not really with Zion, but more so to John Morant. Because, with me, Zion, he did what any man does, that he go, have sexual intercourse with females. I don't have too much of a problem with that, just, the way he kind of did it. But, probably he got to take severe measurements of taking people's, large amount of money that they get from the NBA. So it can somewhat, discipline them and make them wake up. Because if you personally ask me, after him and Zion, they spending hella bread. I just heard that Zion spending 100K for some pussy.
Yes.
100K.
Yes.
Imagine if he's so desperate to spend that much money on that one woman. Imagine what you think he's gonna do with cars, clothes, houses. He probably spent about 12 mil or somewhere around there. So then we got to look at the situation within that too. And it's just pure, stupidity right now, man, with John Morant flashing a gun, and I feel like, it even make it look worse because you went to Adam Silver's face, and that's hella disrespectful. If you go to if you go to a man's face and tell him, I won't make this mistake again. I learned from my actions, and then you go ahead and do it again. You basically spit on a man's face, bro. You basically piss on his on his garden, his yard. That's how disrespectful it is, and I feel like that's why Adam Silver's so shocked because John Morant gave him his personal word. You know, if you feel what I'm saying. So this is really looking horrible right now for the league because Adam Silver and the NBA and the media they gave both of these players opportunity to be a face of the league. They gave both of these players an opportunity to take it amongst they based the media talk about him more than Giannis, Nikola Jokic, in some cases Luka Doncic combined because they need that American face at the end of the day. No one's saying that Zion or John Morant gonna be better than those two players, better than the Giannis, the Nikola Jokic, the Lukas, the Embiids, but they need an American face, and these were the two best players to make possibly the American face. But they're not taking advantage of it. They don't want nothing to do with it, So they just gotta with that, learn from it. Am I saying it's over for both of these players? No. Anything can happen. Only thing that gonna change is them winning, them taking the game serious. Make keep things outside the media. Like it's a new age now. This ain't the '90s, the '80s, the early 2000s. Everybody got a camera, a phone to record you doing something good, doing something bad that could damage your career or possibly uplift your career. You feel what I'm saying? And with John Moran pulling that gun, like I don't got no problems with black men having a gun or a man having a gun whatsoever, but it's when and where you do it. If he was in a gun range, just shooting the gun, this won't be no issue. But just pure stupidity, pure mediocrity, and they just got to work on it. That's all I gotta say, man.
Yeah, and I really think it's gonna be a problem for years to come. Cause look at the college scene. We got Michael Williams, a highly talented guard. Got into it. He actually shot at somebody. You know what I'm saying? And his college career could be in jeopardy. He already lost the NIL deal that he had. That he was bringing in some good money. So, like, I think it's trickling down to even the collegiate and high school athletes as well. So, I think end of the day, Adam Silver, before it gets out of hand, need to create a program to where that you could bring the guys in, like I mentioned, Antoine Walker, guys like Lamar Odom, guys that been through a lot of things in their life, and they can really spread their tell their stories and get people to understand that when you make certain decisions, if you don't address them, if you don't get the education that you need to be a professional in this league, you gonna have a lot of issues. You're gonna run into situations like mine or even worse. And I think guys like that, then along the way, you're helping out old veterans as well that have gone through a lot of problems, like Antoine Walker, like Lamar Odom. Now you're giving them a salary. Now you helping those guys keep up with a decent living and all that type of stuff. And then it helps them mentally too. That they know that hey, with my life story with the trauma I've been through, I'm actually helping out these young guys. I think it can help them out as well. And I think you need guys that's like that to get it right. You know what I'm saying? So end of the day, Adam Silver going to come up and the NBA going to come up with a great plan to try to help these young athletes to avoid these type of situations before you have more and more professional athletes in the NBA go through the same thing. And
I agree with you.
that's just my opinion on it. And Rick the
Yeah,
Bad Boy, yes, the NFL does have those programs. NBA, they somewhat have classes and stuff, but I think they need to have a big brother program because there's not a lot of veterans in locker rooms anymore. You gotta have some type of veteran or some type of OG that's been professional before in the league that has been in controversial situations to speak to these guys. I don't agree with everything they do, but guys like a Steven Jackson, he been through his stuff. Meta World Peace could probably speak to guys. Things Jermaine O'Neal's of the world, guys of that nature that been through some things. That could really help. That really can help certain guys to carry their lives in a better way. Like Keith Claus. Bring up guys like Keith Claus that play for the Clippers that have been on ticket platform as well can speak light to a lot of things and educate these guys of how they can move better. And Keith Klaus was a guy that highlighted on he was still living the game culture and was doing certain things that he wasn't supposed to do. Gilbert Arenas, even though I don't agree with everything he say, he can help out those young guys. He can help educate as well. So
I think it gotta be some real Hall of Famers that can really speak to them. Like the best of the top tier, like a Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley. They should be there too to help them out because they're gonna have a different effect if like someone in that tier Hall of Fame is speaking to them and telling them you gotta get your actions straight and whatever.
yeah, I agree. You do need a high cachet guy, but at the same time, like you gotta look at the reason I say guys like Antoine Walker. He was a star in this league at one point, and he was highly regarded as a future of the NBA at one point in time. And just that it's off the court issues, especially with him taking care of his entourage, him and the woman he dealt with, he was basically spending lots of money, bukus of money every day and he started, you know what I'm saying? He started coming in seasons out of shape and all that type of things because he did a lot of partying and all that stuff as well. And it affected Antoine Walker's career to the point that he was broke. The nigga had to sell his championship ring that he won in Miami to help him financially. You know what I'm saying? Lamar Odom highlight had drug problems. Set up there, had women issues with a Kardashian, was in situations. He also dealt with a lot of women on the side and all those different type of things as well. That was highlighted. And I feel like Lamar Odom got highlighted to the point where that is how his off the court issues affected him because people gotta remember he was one of the highly talented players in the game as well, being 6'10" with guard handles. He was like one of the first of his kind that was 16 that can handle the ball like a real deal point guard. So, certain players can still speak to them, but you're right. It probably would take a Michael Jordan and guys of that. Even LeBron James, even when LeBron James gone to speak to certain things. Even
Yeah,
to
I just
Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal he was in them streets. Shaquille O'Neal was hanging with Biggie Smalls and all that stuff. But financially literacy, Shaq had the right people in his corner to make sure that he didn't even have to touch his NBA money.
yeah, I just stated that it should be like top tier players because they do that in the NFL. Like Michael Thomas, I think, like or Michael Irvin, they in the Hall of Fame. So that's why I just brought them up.
I can agree with that. Kamaga Irvin, he still goes through stuff to this day.
Yeah, they be talking to the young players. and and stuff like that. Players who are about to get in the league.
Ron Ultra, you right. It's a lot. It's plenty of guys in there doing the dumb shit they doing, but all the all the players in the league got certain habits and got certain things that they like to do, whether it's gambling, whether it's drinking, whether it's smoking weed, or whether it's clubbing, hanging out with different women. Everybody got their got little stuff that they do, but at the same time, it's a way that you have to move that would protect your brand, that would protect your image. And I think, end of the day, certain guys like the John Morants and the Zion Williams, they didn't get that guidance. They didn't have the right people on their team to let them know, like, hey, by moving the way you moving, bro, you go put your career in jeopardy. You go put your image out on the line, and it's gonna affect you down the line that you may not get another big contract. It's gonna affect you down the line that you may get kicked out the league. It's gonna affect you down the line that hey, you might never get an opportunity to get on the roster again. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of different variables that they could do. And you're right on Rick the Bad Boy. The NFL do though. The NFL do have the mentor system though, and I think the NBA got to go towards that as well. And Slim 21, I totally agree. I think Zion made his first year. I think he's gonna try to play all 82 games for the first time in his career. I think he's going. He shit. He has no choice. He has no choice. Zion actually has no choice, man. If he don't play most of this season and the New Orleans Pelicans don't be successful and he doesn't play all star, superstar caliber basketball, yeah, his career basically done. His career
Yeah,
basically done. But this is what Zion needs to do. I'm gonna give a solution for Zion Williamson what he needs to do right now. If I'm Zion Williamson, I meet with the owner of the Pelicans, meet with the front office of the Pelicans, and let them know, hey, look, I messed up. This is everything I've been doing. I apologize to you guys. I'm sorry for how I represented the franchise. And you put some structures in your contract to the point where that you guarantee them that you would be available to the best of your degree. The only way if you out is if you really suffer a real significant injury. If it's not significant, if you could play, you playing. And promise them that you're gonna be totally focused on basketball. Let them know you're not gonna come out of shape anymore, and guarantee them that the New Orleans Pelicans will have a lot of success this upcoming season. He has to let them know the truth, and he has to let them know how committed he is to greatness, how committed he is to the New Orleans Pelicans being one of the better teams in the NBA, and that his performance go translate into winning and to them having a lot of success. So Zion needs to come in. I need to see him ripped. I need to see him in shape coming into training camp. I don't need him to be sloppy. I don't need him to talk about sitting out games or anything. He has to come in shape. If he does not, his career will be over. John Morant. John Morant. This is what John Morant should have did. Cause this is the honest truth about John Morant. I think John Morant just have an alcohol problem. I think he really has an alcohol problem. If he was smart at the time when he first had that meeting with Adam Silver, he should have just told him, "Look, man, I got a drinking problem. When I drink, I tend to have this certain behavior, and I'm gonna get help about my drinking. I'm gonna get help with that, and I'm gonna make sure that I surround myself with a better environment. So and I'm gonna get help about my drinking. That could have helped him instead of lying and saying that it's not in his character. That's something that he's not proud of doing, and he'll never do it again. He should have admitted about his problem, and John Morant probably could avoid whatever is gonna come down on him once the NBA Finals ends. So I just think in the day those guys are misled. They never got the education that they needed so they could be constant professionals, and it's showing. And it's two guys that was sheltered in their lifetime to the point where that now they stuff is getting thrown in them that never been thrown in them before, and they don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to handle being a professional, man. And it's crazy. Damn,
So do
Zion.
do you believe that Zion should at least play at least more than 60 games next season?
Yes,
He got no choice.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, he has to. He has no choice. He has no choice, or his career will be done. Because what they go sell out in the public, that Zion is not committed to basketball. He is not committed to being great. So that's gonna be the thing that's gonna be thrown around. And if he doesn't show that commitment this year, that really is gonna be thrown around, and that's really gonna expose him. So and teams are not gonna give him another big contract because Zion is still young enough to the point where that you can get the real deal super max extension, veteran max extension, and get over 300 million. But with how he's carrying himself, people can easily say that you're not even committed to the game. We're not giving you that money. We're not gonna give you a big contract. So I think he has to show this year his commitment to excellence, his commitment to the game of basketball. If he doesn't, you guys, his career is over. Like Ticket TV said, our brother Ticket touched on it, and I think he's on point with saying that his career is really at risk, and his career is basically over. So I totally feel that way. That is a whole season of bust for Zion Williams. I really truly believe. But I need y'all to like and subscribe to the Monster Pit Bulls channel for sure. Let's get them likes up. Let's get them subscribers up on that platform as well. Um, when we do videos, most of the time, like guys like me, T Price, the others, we probably be on this channel more often, just due to the fact that we don't want to get Ticket TV 2 channel flagged. We don't want that to go through the same type of controversy that Ticket TV original channel has went through. So we gonna be on the Monsters platform a lot, man, and that's what it is. But you guys, man, we gotta get it right, man. We gotta get it right, y'all. We gotta help these guys live better. We gotta help these guys move the right way. We got to get them the right guidance. It's easy to point the finger and highlight on that they carried themselves in a messed up manner, in which truly they did. You know what I'm saying? They was very immature with their actions, and look what it ultimately cost them. You know what I'm saying? I totally understand that. I totally understand why people want to come hard on them the whole nine. I understand that whole thing. But it's still hope for these kids. It's still hope that these guys can turn it around. But they need better people in their corners. They got to take accountability first, but they need real deal genuine people that will check them about their actions, that will let them know that they moving improperly. And at the end of the day, if they don't get it together, y'all, his career is over. Zion and John Morant's career is over. But look, man, I wanted to get my perspective on it because Ticket TV been cooking on this, man. Shout out to my brother again. Shout out to LDBC again. Shout out to all my brothers, man, that be on the panel, man. Know your boy Sports and News. Elder Rufus, I know Elder build the community. Shout out to Elder, man. What he's doing is the epitome of what our community needs to do, how he builds up communities, the whole nine, man. So shout out to Elder with doing that, man. A great human being, man, and he really holds it down. We got to celebrate those type of things often because we don't have anybody that would go out their way to build communities and to sit up there to help people families. have a better way of living, man. That's how we should be. So I commend Elder for that. That's why Elder hasn't been on as much. But I know deep down, man, that's what he doing, and that's important, y'all. So shout out to Elder for that. Shout out to Mr. Maz, man. Shout out to BX. Shout out to Showtime, man. Shout out to all the brothers, period, young Africans of the world, man. Hey, we got a great thing going. We go keep cooking. Chicken go keep doing this thing and dropping great content. Shout out to even Rated All Sports debates as well, man. Hey, I appreciate y'all. Y'all hit that like, you guys. Y'all hit that subscribe. If you guys do want to donate to the platform, man, hit up $ cash double 11, y'all. It would be appreciated. Man, y'all just make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe. Let's get this Monster Pit Bulls channel subscribers up even more. Even guys that catch the video later on, just hit the like, hit the subscribe if you're not subscribed. Shout out to my brother Ticket again. Salute to all y'all. Salute to my brother that came up on the panel to share his opinion on this matter. Salute to y'all, man, and I'm out.